start. Come on over to the mat. We'll start. We'll have your heels under your knees. Knees are under your hips. Knees are a little bit soft. Belly button's in. Stand up nice and tall. Take a deep breath in. And then breathing out, we're going to slowly peel down and touch to your toes. Take your time with this. Just use this time to sort of stretch out the back, get the backs of the legs stretched. Make little notes of what's grabbing your attention. Think of your hands heavy, your head heavy. And keep your knees soft so you're not straightening your legs out. Just melt down to the ground. When you get all the way as far as you can go comfortably, let your hands feel heavy. Either they're on the ground or they're still floating, and that's fine. And we're just going to straighten the legs out a little bit and then soften. And we'll straighten and soften. And just breathe with this. We're going to stretch the hamstrings. Backs of the legs are really stretching out. And then we'll slowly come all the way back up. Stacking your spine, shoulders back, chest is open. And we're going to drop down again, peeling all the way down. And again, knees are soft. And this time you're going to grab your elbows just about this sort of space about your knees. So you're not going all the way down. Knees are still soft. You can even sit right down into it. And then we're going to sway side to side. So we're really stretching out from the hip to the shoulder. So you get that nice lower back, top of your bum stretch. And just breathe with it. Let your head feel heavy. You can melt down a bit further if it feels like that's a good stretch. And then we'll let go of your elbows. Come all the way back up to standing. Shoulders back, chest is open. And let's drop down onto your hands and knees. Your knees under your hips, hands under your shoulders. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Get a really good foundation. Check that your hands aren't too far up so your shoulders are bunching to your ears. You want to have them down, squeeze down. We're going to arch your back into an angry cat stretch. And then drop down. Open sit bones, open chest. And now this one, you can just listen to what your body's kind of asking for right now. It might be that you want to be a bit more gentle with it. You want to push a bit deeper into it, whatever it is. And I'm breathing with each move. So I'm breathing here and I'm breathing to get to here. So the breath and the move are working together. I'm going to keep this going, but when I drop my back down, I'm going to push my weight over my fingers a bit. If that bothers your wrists, you don't have to do it. I'm going to arch my back up and push my weight back towards my heels. And then again, drop down, roll forwards, and round back, sit back. And last one. You're going to bring your knees nice and wide. We're going to push into child's pose, get things loosened up before we get into the tough stuff. Stretch right down into it. So my knees are about the width of the mat. I'm just going to push my weight to the left and then to the right, sort of just wiggling around in the space. You can bring your hands the width of the mat as well. You're going to hold in the center. Now bring your right hand on top of your left. So both of my hands are all the way onto the left side of the mat. I'm going to breathe in, stretch my right shoulder up and then down. And then we'll go to the other side. You can bring your right hand back to the right and the left hand to the right as well. And then again, lift that shoulder up, stretch into it. And then we'll bring your hands back. We're going to come all the way back forwards. Hands are under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. Belly button's in, a little tuck through your tailbone. And we're going to push your opposite hand, opposite knee, really push, push, push. And opposite hand, opposite knee. So you're pushing as hard as you can. Just click those tummy muscles on. As you're pushing your hand, you're squeezing down the sides, belly button's pulling in. get your core clicked on a little bit. Now imagine right now you've got a glass of water resting on your lower back onto your sacrum tailbone space. I don't want you to spill the water. We're going to start stretching out your opposite hand to opposite leg. I'm just reaching to the ends of the mat, keeping quite low, and then come back in and then change to the other side. So I'm starting out easy, a bit like yesterday. Don't get comfortable. It's going to get tougher. Just keep it nice and small. So right now we're just thinking about warming everything up, getting everything woken up, ready to work. And I'm just alternating side to side. And remember that glass of water on your back that you're not spilling. Now, if you would like, you can start reaching up a bit higher, but remember the stability is the priority. So as soon as you feel like you might spill that imaginary glass of water, you've gone too high. And I'm breathing to lift and breathing to change. And obviously occasionally you're going to look up at the screen to check what I'm doing, but if you can, when you're not looking at me, keep your eyes to the mat just slightly just above where your fingers are. So you've got that nice long neck. You're not looking up where you're reaching, because then we're collapsing into the neck, so we're just looking into the ground. Perfect. Now we're going to change it now. I'm going to have you push back. We'll do a little quick child's pose to reset. Push back, long stretch. And then we're going to come forwards and you're going to go onto your side. So all the way down. If you want, you can just make a little pillow all the way down. I like to have my head in my hand. I'm going to have my hand in the front. I'm going to squeeze my shoulder down the sides. Pull your belly button up and in really, really tight. Look to your hip. Make sure your hip is rolled forwards, tummy's in. We're going to take your top leg out straight. Perfect. So just at a height where you feel like you're not really squashing down too high, you still have that nice lightness in your waist, but you are working that top. You're going to drag your leg back a little bit further. Excellent. Try to stretch your leg out as far as you can. Really stretch it a little bit further, tense around the kneecap. Perfect. Hold it there. Your leg is really heavy, so it's a lot of weight that we're supporting right now. We're just going to drag it back a little bit further. Point your toe. I want you to draw a really tiny little circle. I want you to draw it so tiny that I can't really see you moving. So you're actually drawing like the size, like you're drawing like a marble on the opposite wall. You're going to feel like right sort of that top outside, or that bottom outside space of your bum. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Now use the rest of your body, squeeze your shoulders down, really tense your tummy, and reverse your circle. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Keep it going. Smaller, smaller, smaller. I can see some legs moving. Don't make it so big that I can see. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Excellent. Now we're going to change it and we're going to draw a really big sweeping circle. Now I want to see the legs as big as you can. Exactly. Perfect. Now check the size of the circle you're drawing. Make sure that it's not so big that the rest of your body is having to shift and move to then make the circle bigger. So just make it sort of as big as you can, with focusing on the stability on the top half of your body. We're going to reverse. And you're breathing as well. You can use your shoulder blades to squeeze down to then help stabilize. So you've got your hand in the front, shoulder blades in the back. Excellent. Hold in the center. Now if you have your head in your hands, you're going to drop it down now. You're all the way onto the floor. Keep that leg floating. We're going to stretch the bottom leg out. Perfect. Now bring the bottom leg up to the top leg and then drop it down. Top leg is not moving, just the bottom leg lift and drop. You can also use your hand, really push your hand on the floor. That'll help lift the leg. You should feel like that top outside leg is really screaming. We will stretch. You're going to hold up at the top, drop both legs down, and squeeze both legs up. We'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Come up onto your side. Have your elbow under your shoulder. We're going into side plank. Choose where you want to have your legs. So you have your knees stacked, one leg out or both legs out. And then adjust where your arm is. So if your fingers are in, your shoulder might be rolling forward. So just roll them back, shoulder blades back. Take your hand up to the ceiling. 1, 2, 3, lift. Excellent. So I want you to imagine that you've got a string on your hip and your hand is holding that string. So you're going to lift your hip up, pull the string, and then drop your hips down. Really, really graceful. We're going to do 10. Again, just like yesterday, 10 is way too many, but it's too late now. And you're breathing. You guys look great. Let's do 5 more. Three, 2, 1. Hold up. We're going to roll through into a plank. Tuck your tailbone strong through your shoulders. I'm holding my hands together in like prayer hands. I'm squeezing my hands together. Really stabilize all around the armpits. So you're going to keep your chest high, tuck your tailbone, pull your belly button into your spine as tight as you can. If this is enough for you, you can just hold this. If you want to work harder, I'm going to have you lift your right leg up off the floor. Or your right foot off, so your leg is just floating. And then you can drop it down, and then we'll lift the left. And then we'll go back to the right. And then to the left. Now lift both feet. Just kidding. Drop your knees down, push back into child's pose. Stretch it out. Well done. And come up from that. Flip over to the other side. We'll do the whole thing again. And let's see if I can remember everything we did on the first side. I'll probably forget something, but just go with it. So choose your hand position. You can either go all the way down or hold your head, belly buttons in, and take that top leg, stretch it out. Excellent. Find that length in your leg just like before. Lift up a bit higher just so you feel like that top outside bum is working. And drag it back a little bit further. Just hold. And breathe. Now we're going to start drawing your little tiny marble. Your body wants you to make it like a bigger, stronger circle, but make it as tiny as possible. We're just like fine-tuning everything right now. Perfect. Tiny, tiny, tiny. So this side is probably already aching. We're going to reverse the circle. Still tiny. As you start to get more tired, you're going to want to make the circle bigger, but just keep in check with it. Tiny, tiny, tiny. 5, 4, 3, 2, and big sweeping circle. So draw it as big as you can, but just make sure that you're not moving the rest of your body. And let's reverse. And let's hold in the center. You're gonna go all the way down. Take that bottom leg out. Now don't move the top leg, it's just sort of floating where it is. And then squeeze that bottom leg up. and then down. We'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now both legs drop and lift, and 10 again. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drop down. Nice, I think that was all of it. Let's go into your side plank. So we'll do the same. Ideally, you're kind of copying the side plank that you did on the other side. So knees stacked, one leg out, both legs out, and then adjust your arm. But of course, it's different side to side, so you can do one version of side plank and then the other version. Hand up. 1, 2, 3, lift. Now remember, you've got that string connected to your hip. You're going to pull your string up, hips lift, and then float down. And again, 10. Make it look as like simple and elegant, easy, easy, easy. Slow, slow, slow as well. If somebody's watching you do this, they think it was the easiest thing in the world. And you're breathing somewhere in there. We'll do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down. Come onto your sort of back-ish. We're going to go into a reverse plank, so we're going to sort of backwards plank. You can just choose where you want to have your fingers pointing. Fingers pointing forwards is like the right way to do it, but I don't like how it feels on my arms, so I turn my fingers backwards. Totally whatever you want to do. You can have your fingers pointing out, just adjust your hand however it feels good. Stretch your legs out and lift. Pull your belly button in. Think really open collarbones with this. Squeeze your bum. Don't let your ribs open. And breathe. If this is enough for you, just keep this going. Make sure that when you're doing this, your bum isn't dropping down, and have it nice and lifted. If you want to make this harder, we'll lift one leg up. Perfect. And change. And change. And change. You're going to slowly pull your belly button in, lower your bum towards the floor. Maybe tap your bum to the floor and then squeeze back up. We'll do 5. 4, 3, 2, great, 1, all the way back up, all the way back down. Drop your bum down to the floor, reach your hands up over your head, big stretch, and then bow forwards, reach to your toes. If you can reach to your toes, wrap your fingers over your feet and pull back. If you can't reach your toes, just hold onto your ankles or wherever you can reach. And just let your head feel heavy. Try to scoop your tummy in so you're getting that nice round back. And then we're going to roll to one side, roll to the other side. I'm going to hold in the center. I'm going to take my left hand, reach it through, grab my left hand at the outside of my right foot or right leg, wherever, as far as you can reach. Pull back again. And take a deep breath in. You should feel an extra stretch all in that sort of lower back on the left side. Even on the left shoulder blade as well. Bring your left hand back. Use your right hand to grab the outside of your left leg, left foot. And again, pull back. Really breathe into it. We'll come up from that. Bottoms of your feet together. We're just going to stretch out all those legs, that circles that we did. Make a big diamond shape with your legs and lean forwards into it. And see if you can pull a little bit further into it. Find your flat back. If you think of what's happening, sort of tailbone, sit bones, your body's trying to push you back onto your tailbone. Try to roll forwards onto your sit bones, or like past your sit bones. You can pull off to the right, you can pull off to the left. And we'll come up from that. Now bring your left leg over your right knee, so you're mirroring me. Bring your right hand across, pull your knee in, lift your back really tall. You'll feel that stretch all around the bum, sit bones space. You can twist if you want, but you don't have to. You can use both of your hands to pull in really tight. Just find that, imagine you've got a string on the top of your head pulling you a little bit taller. And then push your hip bum down through the floor. Just breathe into it. And come out of that, we'll flip to the other leg. Excellent. Opposite hand. So you're going to bring your left hand, is going to pull your right knee into your chest. And then same again. So if you want to twist, go for a twist. If not, you can just stay in the center, pull your knee in. As it feels like it gets a little bit easier, you can lift your back a little bit taller, push your hip down through the floor. And I'll come out of that. We're going to go into a bit of arm work, and then we'll sort of finish on some stomach work. If you don't have the ring, we're going to be using the ring, but if you don't have the ring, I'm going to give you a totally different variation just to work with it, because there's no way you can do it without the ring. So if you don't have the ring, you're just going to take your arms out and draw circles. So you'll do a bunch of circles, and then I'll tell you to reverse halfway. If I don't tell you, just please reverse. If you have the ring, you're going to take the ring, bring your hands onto the outside, bring it up over your head. Keep your elbows in really close, so down there. You're going to squeeze the ring together and then relax. So keep your elbows in. You want to lift your back really tall. It's just a squeeze and relax. So my elbows are about shoulder height. And I'm sitting with my legs crisscrossed, but if that's not comfortable for you, you can go up onto your knees. I'm going to keep this squeeze going. So we're going to squeeze and then reach your elbows up, your hands up a little bit higher, but keep the elbows in and then down. We'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, keep the squeeze, 3, 2, 1, come out of that. If you are drawing your arm circles, you're going to reverse. Bring your backs of your hands onto the inside of the ring. It's going to get a million times harder. Bring it back up. Excellent. I'm going to have my same thing, elbows about shoulder height. Push the ring apart, but don't let your elbows come apart. Keep your elbows inside the width of the ring. We're just going to push and relax, but don't relax so much that you drop the ring. So push and relax. Keep your shoulders away from your ears while you're doing this. So I'm still using those sides pulling down. Now we're going to start lifting up. Push the ring, keep that squeeze, and we'll do little lift. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, stretch it down, give a little shake out. Horrible, right? Now take your arm, bring it across. I want you to, instead of bringing it like into your chest, I want you to hold onto your, like just above your elbow, and try to like pull your arm out of socket. Excellent. Now you'll feel where we need to stretch. You can pull it up, you can pull it down, see how it feels, making those little adjustments. And we'll go to the other side. Again, just pull it right out of socket. And then up a little bit higher, down a bit lower. We'll come out of that. Give your shoulders a little roll around. Nice. Let's do 5 minutes of stomach. Go onto your back. If you have the ball in the ring, you can use those. You can throw the ball between your knees. Have a good squeeze on that. Okay, perfect. Lace your fingers behind your head. Have your elbows open. We're gonna take a deep breath in, squeeze the ball together as tight as you can. When you're squeezing the ball, you're pulling the ball up and in. So we're getting the pelvic floor going. We're gonna go into your curl up. Slide your ribs down, pull your belly button in. Try to push your back really heavy. When you're doing this, you might notice while you're working and sort of losing the connection that your back creates like a suction sort of farting sound on the mat. If you hear that noise, you've got to reconnect. Really scoop it and push it down really heavy. And we're gonna twist. Breathing out, twist. Breathing into the center, breathing out, twist. And you're twisting looking over your elbow and twisting looking over your elbow. Try to keep from the hips to the knees really stable, or hips to the heels really stable. And keep that connection of the back on the mat. Elbows are open, collarbones are open. We're going to keep this going. If you want to make it harder, the next step is legs in tabletop, toes are tapped together, squeeze the ball, we're going to twist again. If you want to make that harder, you're going to twist, hold, lift your tailbone up an inch, and then twist, lift your tailbone up an inch. So you've kind of got a few levels to choose from. Remember, as we're building into making this more intense, don't lose the first levels, first little steps. So you're still squeezing the ball, you're still using that pelvic floor to pull the ball up and in. Your ribs are still melting across, your elbows are open. We're gonna keep whatever sort of area you are, I want you to keep going. We're gonna make it slower. So you're gonna hold, and then twist. Hold, and twist. So find your sort of most intense position, hold it for a second, and then change. And we'll come back into the center, drop your feet down, let go of your head, take your hands up over your chest, squeeze your palms together as tight as you can. So you're pulling the ribs down. Take a deep breath in, and breathing out, we're going to tuck your chin, curl up, reach to the ball between your knees, or reach to your knees, and then down. We'll do 10, 9. Remember, you're not jumping with this. You're going nice and slow. You're using those tummy muscles to pull you up. So it might be that you only lift up a little tiny bit. Pull your belly button in really tight. We'll do 4, 3, 2. We're going to stay up on the last one. Hold, and then reach to one side, rainbow up, reach to the other side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, and we're going to crunch up. 10, 9, little pulses. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rainbow to the other side and little pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax. Nice work. Throw the ball off to the side, let your palms float open, drop your knees to one side, passive little twist to finish off. Just melt into this. And come roll back through to the other side, knees drop to the other side. And again, just melt into this. Come back into the center, pull your knees into your chest, little circles on your back, and then we're going to roll like a ball up to sitting. Bottoms of your feet are on the floor, hands next to your hips, all the way up to standing. Take a deep breath in. We're gonna roll down and touch to your toes. Feeling all the way down. Heavy hands, heavy head. Breathing in all the way back up. Shoulders back, chest is open. And you guys are done. Excellent work.